Okay, so arts of Renaissance period. So Renaissance was the period of economic progress, Makinig. So it is identified as a time of economic progress and also intellectual and artistic revival. The period stirred enthusiasm for the study of ancient philosophy and artistic value. And this marks a renewed interest in classical Greek and Roman learning and culture after the Middle Age. So after the Middle Age to, no? So yung Italian Renaissance ay nag-umpisa noong late 14th century. Tatandaan nyo, ha? So it was an era of great artistic and intellectual achievement. So pinagsama yung artistic and intellectual achievement. So there was a shift in art. So it saw the birth of secular art. Ano ibig sabihin ng secular art? So ito yung mga non-religious art. Yung kasing religious art, secular art yon. So yung non-secular art. So yung secular art ay mga non-religious art. Though religion art remained important pa rin, So the artistic focus shifted towards realistic and humanistic art. Ano ibig sabihin ng humanistic? So this means that yung mga art that depicted the human form, laging human form, and of course human experience. Yun ang kanilang favorite topic, so they depicted the human form and human experience with accurate, and it emphasized the value and agency of human beings. So puro human beings, kaya tinawag na humanism, So economic background. So this was crucial, yung economic progress, crucial ito. So yung wealth actually accumulated by city-states like yung Florence, yung Venice, and of course yung Rome, through trade and banking provided the patronage necessary to fund the massive artistic and intellectual projects. So dahil marami na silang fund, so napagtuunan na nila ng pansin yung mga artistic and intellectual projects. So when I say humanism, so it is defined as the intellectual movement of the Renaissance. It was scholarly interest na nagpo-focus on studying and reviving yung mga cultural legacy, yung literature, as well as yung philosophy of classical antiquity. So ibig sabihin yung mga classical art which flourished in Egypt, Greek and Romans, ay nagkaroon ng revival. Kaya nga Renaissance. Ibig sabihin ng Renaissance ay revival. Okay? So nagkaroon ng shift sa focus from the divine spiritual world to human beings and their potential in this world. Okay. So yun, nagkaroon ng shift. The move toward realistic and humanistic art. Okay. So among the famous artists ay sila Leonardo da Vinci, dito na sila Leonardo da Vinci, sila Michelangelo, sila Raphael, and of course si Donatello, So kung mapapansin nyo, napanood nyo ba yung Ninja Turtles? Okay, so ang mga pangalan ng mga turtles doon ay puro pangalan ng mga great Renaissance artists, sila sila Michelangelo, sila Donatello, sila Raphael. Okay. Okay, so so Renaissance art was characterized by accurate anatomy, So ano ibig sabihin ng accurate anatomy? So because Renaissance was driven by the era which focused on humanism, so ang gusto nilang i-depict ay yung mga human form, as accurately as possible, human form. sila yung mga masters like sila Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, they studied human dissection. Ano? Nagda-dissect talaga sila ng mga cadavers. No, para mapag-aralan nila kung ano ba ang itsura ng mga muscles, ng mga bones, and of course yung mga body proportions. So this scientific approach resulted in figures in paintings and sculptures that appear natural, no? Realistic talaga and three-dimensional, conveying a sense of ideal human beauty and strength. Okay, so yung scientific perspective dito, so it refers to the development and systematic use of linear perspective, often called one-point perspective. No? Kung mapapansin nyo doon sa Last Supper, that is an example of one-point perspective na kung saan pag ginamit natin yun ay nakapag-create ng illusion of depth. Nagiging three-dimensional yung painting because of the use of linear perspective. No? That is what we call scientific perspective. It is a mathematical technique that creates the illusion of depth on a flat surface. Ibig sabihin, yung mga malalayong lugar, they appear smaller and lahat ng lines doon sa painting ay nagko-converge to a single vanishing point. Okay, later on, i-illustrate ko sa inyo kung paano yung one-point perspective. Okay? So, ang naka-invento nitong one-point perspective ay si Filippo Brunelleschi. Okay. Okay, and also, nagkaroon din ng mga deeper landscape. Ano? Pag tinignan natin yung mga paintings nila, yung mga landscape nila, talagang parang naipoportray nila yung mga malalayong objects. No? So, ito ay sa pamamagitan ng ginagamit na aerial perspective. Na-discuss na natin yung aerial, ano? Perspective, tsaka yung linear perspective na i-demonstrate ko na sa inyo, di ba? Okay, so kung saan yung like for example, yung release ng trend. So yung release ng trend, kung gagamitin natin ng one-point perspective, it seems to converge yung linya ng release, parang nagko-converge siya at one vanishing point. Kaya nagkakaroon ng illusion of depth. So yun yung okay, so a characteristic ng Renaissance art. Deeper landscape. Okay, and then of course yung atmospheric perspective, yung aerial ito kung saan yung mga distant objects appear lighter, no? Or parang ano na siya, less detailed or bluer due to the effect of the atmosphere, no? So habang lumalabo yung images, di ba? Okay. And then so Renaissance painters depicted real life figures. And of course, yung sculptures nila were naturalistic portraits on human beings. Sa architecture also, during this period was characterized by its symmetry and balance. So, laging formal balance ang ginagawa nila. No? Ano na nga yung klase ng balance? So, we have symmetrical, asymmetrical, and balance of transition. Okay, so yung sa architecture ginagamit 'yon, Symmetry and balance. Ibig sabihin, yung mga structures nila, kung ano nakikita natin sa kanan, nakikita rin natin sa kaliwa. Okay, kung ano nakikita natin sa ibaba, naipo-project din sa itaas. Okay. Ito yung pinag-aralan ni human anatomy, talagang dinadissect nila yung human body. So ang ginagawa nila dito ay bumibili sila ng mga cadaver. And talagang tinitistis nila yon. At pinag-aaralan nila yung mga location ng muscles, yung mga veins, and of course yung skeleton. No? Para pagka nag-painting sila ng humans ay talagang realistic. No? So yan yung Okay. So as the classical Greeks believed in the harmonious development of the person through a sound mind by the practice of athletics. So the Renaissance held up the ideal of the well-rounded man. Ano ba itong well-rounded man? it draws a direct parallel between this Renaissance ideal and the ancient Greek philosophy of personal development. Okay, so so pag sinabi nating well-rounded man, ito yung Renaissance man na sinasabi nila, no? Okay, so pag sinabi nating Renaissance man, sila yung may knowledgeable sila, may intelligence, highly intelligent in a number of fields, no? They have broad knowledge. Napaka-proficient nila in diverse fields such as in philosophy, in science, and of course the arts. Okay, so so of course, pag sinabi natin may specific skills sila, yun yung skills nila sa arts, which included painting and music. Okay. So yung productive application, of course, kailangan pagka mayroon kang knowledge at mayroon kang artistic abilities, ginagamit nila ito in a productive and creative way. Ano? So they apply this knowledge to productive and creative activity. Okay. So ito kasi yung mga Greeks, they believe in, the Greeks believe in the harmonious development of the person. Now, this harmony was achieved through a sound mind, no? Kailangan sound mind, and the practice of athletics. Okay. So, yung Renaissance ideal takes this concept, no? Ginaya nila yung concept ng mga Greeks, no? And expands from physical, no? Hindi lang physical, as well as mental fitness, to encompass a vast array of intellectual and creative disciplines. Okay. So, the ultimate example of a Renaissance man is, of course, si Leonardo da Vinci. Kasi si Leonardo da Vinci was a painter, he was also a sculptor, he was also an architect, as well as musician, and scientist. Scientist din siya, inventor, Actually, si Leonardo da Vinci yung nag-umpisang mag-imbento ng flying machine. So, nagkaroon siya ng mga study, mga sketches about a flying machine. Yung airplane. Okay, so he's also an engineer and napakarami pa. Kaya sinasabi ng ultimate Renaissance man ay si Leonardo da Vinci. Ina-apply niya yung knowledge niya into productive and creative activity. Okay. Okay, so ito yung isa sa mga work ni Leonardo da Vinci, the Mona Lisa. So, it is one of the most famous paintings in the world. Napaka-famous nito. Okay. So, it embodies the artistic ideals of the period outlined later on. Meron tayong i-discuss natin nitong Mona Lisa. So, kung titingnan natin, it focus on naturalistic. So, this is a naturalistic portrait of a human being. At dinidepict nito yung real life, makatotohanang figure. Believed to be, ito raw ang nag-model daw dito ay si Lisa Gherardini, asawa ng isang mayamang merchant. At yun ang nag-commission kay Leonardo da Vinci para ipinta yung portrait ng kanyang asawa na si Lisa Gherardini. Okay. So ngayon itong Mona Lisa ay hindi na kayang tumbasan ng pera. Actually yung nagme-may-ari nito ngayon ay hindi na pinagbibili. Okay. Okay, napaka-accurate ng anatomy ni Mona Lisa dito sa na to, no? Okay, may tinatawag na extra, sorry. Ay, ayaw bumalik. Okay. Okay, so early Renaissance art was created in parallel with late medieval art. Okay, late medieval art. So ito yung period of transition. Kung saan yung humanistic style and yung older styles coexisted before the Renaissance style ultimately dominated by 1500, 1500 AD. The Renaissance style prevailed. This marks the effective end of the early Renaissance kasi dalawa na hati sa dalawa ang Renaissance. Early Renaissance at saka yung High Renaissance. So it covers the 15th century. Okay. Okay, significant architecture. Okay, itong St. Peter's Basilica. The greatest cathedral building of the age. Okay, so ito ay actually nasira na to, so nagkaroon ng rebuilding nitong St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. So yung original basilica was deteriorating na, kaya its replacement became the most ambitious and costly. Napakamahal lang yung nagastos dito sa pagre-rebuild ng St. Peter's Basilica. So napaka nito. So it embodies the periods of ideals. So kung titingnan natin, the design was based on principle of symmetry and balance. Symmetrical balance. Kung ano yung nasa kaliwa, yun ang nasa kanan, di ba? So itong design na to was initially conceived by Donato Bramante. So perfect geometry. Okay, so actually ang nag-design nito ay tatlo, si Raphael at saka si Michelangelo and si Bramante. Who designed? Si Michelangelo ang nag-design ng massive dome. Okay, next. Famous Renaissance artworks and artists. Okay, so we have the first one is Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni, also known as Michelangelo. Ang haba ng pangalan niya, no? And of course, another one ay si Leonardo di Ser Piero da Vinci. Okay, si Leonardo da Vinci to. And then si Raffaello Sanzio da Urbino, si Rafael naman. And si Donato di Nicolo di Beto Bardi, si Donatello. Okay. Ayan, ang picture ni Michelangelo de Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni. Okay. Mga ano to Okay. And then, okay. So, si Michelangelo, siya yung tinaguri ang the quintessential Renaissance artist. Okay. So, napaka-diverse ng talents niya. Okay. He was an Italian sculptor, painter, architect, and poet. Poet din siya. So, itong mga talents na to, it makes him a superb example also of the well-rounded man, ideal of the Renaissance. Knowledgeable siya in a number of fields at in-apply niya itong knowledge na to creative activity. Okay, so he was considered the greatest living artist in his lifetime. He has been regarded as one of the greatest artists of all time. So during his lifetime, siya yung greatest. And also one of the greatest artists of all time. Siyempre, hindi pa tatalo sila Leonardo da Vinci. Okay. So, yung mga sculptural works niya, ay nagpapakita to ng accurate anatomy ng human beings. Napaka-accurate ng anatomy. Yung mga muscles, yung mga veins, ay naipapakita nila. Kaya, ito yung naturalistic portraits of human beings. One of his work ay yung Pieta, So ito yung depiction of the Virgin Mary, hawak-hawak si Jesus Christ. Yung dying Jesus Christ. And then another one, yung Bacchus. Ito yung nag-depict ng Roman god of wine. Bacchus, ang pangalan ng god na yon. And then of course, yung Moses, para itong psychologically intense figure created for the tomb of Pope Julius II. And of course, yung David, this is an iconic representation of the biblical hero. Alam nyo ba yung nasa Bible, yung si David and Goliath? Okay. So yun, na-capture nila yung physique, yung itsura ni David, Later on makikita natin yung mga pictures nito. Okay? And then also yung dying slave, and then yung dawn and dusk, Okay. Ito yung Pieta, Gawa ito sa marble. Located in St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. One of the most famous works of the High Renaissance. So pinapakita rito si Virgin Mary holding the body of deceased Jesus Christ after the crucifixion. Ibig sabihin, after the crucifixion, namatay si Jesus Christ. Okay. Binaba siya sa cross, and then na-capture ni yung scene na yon kung saan kalong-kalong ni Mama Mary si Jesus Christ. Okay, napaka-accurate ng anatomy and idealism na to. Okay, so kung paano yung body ni Jesus Christ is arranged across the lap of Mary, mapapansin nyo yung mga muscles ay relax kasi patay na nga siya, di ba? So wala nang movement. So naipakita nila yung mga muscles na walang movement, walang buhay, So nagde-demonstrate ito nung knowledge ni Michelangelo of human form na derive niya doon sa kanyang anatomical study. Okay. Okay, so medyo idealize itong Pieta. Kung titingnan natin kasi, yung face ni Mary ay napaka-youthful, batang-bata. Parang hindi nga sila mag-ina, di ba? Parang magkaedad lang sila ni Jesus Christ eh. So ganun kasi nung mga panahon na yon. So gusto nilang i-portray yung mga nila as youthful and of course serene, beautiful, Okay. And then we also have David, the statue of David. So this is the most recognized piece of sculpture from the High Renaissance, and it stands as the ultimate embodiment of the era's ideals. Okay, napaka-accurate din ng anatomy, and of course may idealism dito. Naipakita ni Michelangelo yung muscles, musculature, yung bone structure, kung mapapansin nyo. Even yung mga veins, yung mga ugat, with scientific precision. Dahil sa kanyang anatomical studies. Okay, and then dito sa post na to, ito yung tinatawag natin na yung post na yan. Kontraposto, yes. So ito yung kontraposto kung saan yung body weight ay nagsishift from one leg to another. So kung ito, sikat na sikat yung technique na to para makapag-portray ng movement, di ba? Kung titingnan natin yung mga Egyptians saka yung mga ay matitigas yung kanilang mga sculpture, yung mga human portrayals nila, umuulan. Okay, so dahil sa technique ng kontraposto ay parang naging mas naging humanistic yung appearance, naging human yung appearance ng kanilang mga human sculptures. Okay. Okay, and then so ito si Leonardo di Ser Piero da Vinci. Ito yung litrato niya, itsura niya. Okay. Mukhang pala, Okay, so Leonardo da Vinci is of course known as the ultimate Renaissance man. Okay. Okay, napaka-diverse ng talents niya. And of course, yung field of study niya, napakarami niyang field of study or knowledge. He was a painter, architect, scientist, and a mathematician. So itong vast area of expertise across the arts and sciences is why he is known as the ultimate Renaissance man. Okay. Okay, yung Da Vinci Code, napanood nyo ba to? So actually up to the modern times ay ano pa rin kilala pa rin si Leonardo da Vinci. So actually yung team na Da Vinci Code, no? Kung napanood niyo to, hindi siguro, hindi niyo napanood ito. Okay? Isa tong movie, Da Vinci Code. So actually, okay, so siya yung ano, sino naki-painter ng Mona Lisa? Si Leonardo da Vinci, di ba? Okay. So dito sa Mona Lisa, in-apply niya yung scientific understanding niya ng art, which demonstrate the Renaissance commitment to realistic and humanistic art. Okay. So it incorporates accurate anatomy and scientific perspective. Okay, so another well-known work niya ay yung The Last Supper. The most reproduced religious painting of all time. Maraming reproduction na ginawa itong Last Supper. And of course, the Mona Lisa. Okay, yung other works niya, yung Vitruvian Mar, The Adoration of the Magi, and the Virgin of the Rocks. Oh, sorry. Okay, ayun yung Mona Lisa. Okay, next is Raffaello Sanzio da Urbino, or also known as Raphael. Okay? So, he was an Italian painter and architect of the High Renaissance period. Okay, his work was admired for its clarity of form and ease of composition. Clarity of form. So, meron siyang visual achievement of interpreting the divine and incorporating Christian doctrines. So, yung famous work niya, the Sistine Madonna and of course yung School of Athens and the Transfiguration. Okay, ito yung School of Athens na ginawa ni Raphael, no? So, ito ay kung mapapansin nyo, ay nagsama-sama dito yung mga ancient philosophers. So, ang ginawa ni Raphael dito, ginamit niya yung mga contemporaries niya, mga contemporary painters, as model doon sa kanyang painting na to. Okay, kung mapapansin nyo, si Leonardo da Vinci is depicted as Plato. Siya yung nasa gitna na nakakulay, ano ba to? Orange, Yes. So ito actually ay kamukha ni Leonardo da Vinci, itong si Plato. Siya yung nasa central figure na may tinuturo siya sa taas. And then of course, si Michelangelo is likely included as the melancholy Heraclitus. Okay. Yung nakaupo doon sa hagdan, si Heraclitus ito. Okay. And then si Raphael also, in-include niya yung sarili niya. Actually, it is his own self-portrait. Siya yung nasa far right. Nasa kanang bahagi. Okay. Okay, kung titingnan natin yung architecture, ay pinakita rin dito, sa painting na to. Kung makikita nyo yung mga classic Roman-inspired arches na to. And then of course, yung symmetrical design, na nagre-reflect ng period's architectural style, characterized by symmetry and balance. So this rational ordered setting provides the perfect backdrop for the rational pursuit of knowledge. Okay. And then we have the Transfiguration by Raphael. Okay, so considered as a spiritual and artistic culmination of his career. Pinakita rito yung mastery of composition and emotion. Na-portray niya yung emotion dito. Okay. So, he was admired for interpreting the divine and incorporating Christian doctrines sa kanyang mga paintings, mga biblical scenes. Okay, so dalawa yung rito, two distinct scenes na connected, So ito yung upper scene, ito yung nagdidepict ng transfiguration of Christ. Yung transfiguration, ito yung pag-akyat sa langit, ascending in a luminous cloud. At may dalawang prophets doon. Ito, yung dalawa na yon ay si Moses ito, tsaka si Elijah. So, yung lower scene naman ay nagpapakita ng human drama and human sufferings, di ba? Okay. So, this contrast between the radiant, ordered spiritual world above and the agitated, afflicted human world below creates a dramatic tension. Okay. Okay, dito also may accurate anatomy rin, and may composition and clarity. Clarity of form and ease of composition. Okay, so this was where Raphael was famous. Okay, and then we have the Donato di Niccolò di Beto Bardi, also known as Donatello. Okay? Donatello. So he was one of the Italian great artists of the period. Okay? He was an early Renaissance Italian sculptor from Florence, Italy. So, kilala siya sa mga bas relief. Ano na nga yung bas relief? Naka slightly nagpo-protrude doon sa flat surface. Pero slight lang. Ang tawag doon ay bas relief. Ito yung tinatawag na shallow relief sculpture. Okay, his works included David, Statue of St. George, Equestrian Monument, Guatemala, okay, and then Prophet Habakkuk and the Feast of Herod. Ayan, ito yung David. Okay, actually, highly significant itong David kasi ito yung kauna-unahang free-standing male nude statue. Kauna-unahang free-standing male nude statue. So, ito ay gawa sa bronze. Okay. And of course, nagpo-portray din ito ng humanism and naturalism. Okay. Okay, ginamit din dito yung kontraposto, kung napapansin nyo. Kontraposto pose. Okay, and next, okay, so we can say that the era or the Renaissance was a transformative era of rebirth. Kaya tinawag na Renaissance because it is a word for rebirth that fundamentally shifted the focus. Nagbago yung focus ng Western culture from the medieval spiritual world papunta doon sa potential and beauty of the human experience. Okay. Dati kasi puro mga spiritual world ang pinapakita, ng mga artist. But later on nga, during the Renaissance period, ay nagkaroon ng shift sa beauty of the human experience. So it was driven by revived interest. Revive. Ibig sabihin revive yung classical Greek and Roman arts. And of course, it was fueled by economic progress. No? Nagkakaroon na yumayaman na ang society. Kaya nakapagbibigay sila ng mas maraming pansin sa art. Okay, so this period championed the ideal of the well-rounded man. Kinocultivate dito yung sound mind and body to engage in productive, creative activity. Humanism and realism. Okay. Okay, of course, the era was defined by the genius of its masters. Ito na nga, sila Donatello. Siya yung nag-introduce ng classical nude and naturalism doon sa kanyang work na David. And then si Leonardo da Vinci, of course, the ultimate Renaissance man. Pinaghalo ni Leonardo da Vinci yung science with art to create psychological depth. And of course, si Michelangelo rin, so ginamit niya yung human body para ma-express niya yung profound emotion and divine beauty. And Raphael, who achieved the perfection of harmony, balance, and composition. So together, these figures and principles left a legacy that celebrated human dignity, intellectual curiosity, and artistic perfection, setting standards of beauty and knowledge that influence the world to this day. Okay. And then, thank you. So that ends our discussion. So, I will give you, how many? 10 minutes to review. Napasa ko naman na sa inyo. Okay, don't worry, multiple choice.